when we have vision, adversity becomes a block to climb over. It's not the end.
Yep.
That's big. All right, welcome to the Empowered Life podcast, where we share powerful stories of transformation, mentorship, radical faith, and the ripple effect of impact. And so today's episode is one that I know is going to stay with you. I am joined today by Reverend Dr. Yohannes Mengenstab, and he has lived a life full of extraordinary moments, and it's way more than we could ever unpack into one conversation. So before we dive in and I introduce you to him, I want to just give you a brief glimpse into his story. So Yohannes was born and raised in a small village in East Africa, and he faced extreme poverty and really limited education or access to education. He many times suffered the harsh realities of war. And as a child, he was displaced from his home and from his family and forced to navigate circumstances that no child should ever have to face, and really no person should. His journey would eventually take him into escaping violence and ultimately making a life-altering promise to God while he was in the trenches, and that's something that he's going to talk to us more about later today. So as a refugee, he began leading Bible studies in the refugee camps and then later immigrated to the United States, where he earned multiple degrees and really dedicated himself to empowering others. So over the last 2 decades, Yohannes has helped start over 200 ministries around the globe. He's planted churches, and he continues to pour into the next generation of leaders. And so he's a pastor, a church planter, a global mentor, and his life is truly a testament of the power of resilience and faith and presence. So I think what stands out most to me about his life is not only what he's accomplished, but how and the who. The who helped him along the way. And so his story is about that and about vision and how one empowered life can empower others. So if you're listening today and maybe you are facing some adversity, or maybe you're wondering, how can I use my life to impact the life of someone else? I think that you're going to be blessed to hear his story. So let's dive in. Hello and welcome, Yohannes.
Thank you.
So
Thank
happy
you,
to have you.
Thank you.
You know, it's funny, when I first met you and I heard just a glimpse about you, I was like, man, I need to talk to that guy. You have a cool story, and I wanted to hear more. So we sit down at lunch, and we spent 2 hours. I think we could have spent another 2 hours just getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And I was honestly in awe of what I heard you share. Like, some of the things that you've been through as far as just war and refugee camps and just your life experience is so different than mine. Mm-hmm. And it's easy when you talk to someone who has been through such a different life than you have to kind of feel like we're different. But the more I heard you share, God just revealed to me that there's a lot that we have in common, and that I think everyone who's listening does too, and that is adversity and struggle. None of us are immune to it, that we've all gone through that. And although it looks very different, it's something that we've had to face. And so what's the consistent kind of theme in that is that in your story and in mine, God showed up. And it's like he handpicked you and me and said, nope, I got a different story. There's something else that I'm going to do in and through you. And so I love that is something that we have in common, and that the people who are listening today share with us too. So I want us to start at the very beginning of your story. I want to go back to when you were a child, because I believe that so much of who we are today started in those early formative years. And I know that that's something that you believe too. And so just the people who showed up when you were young and the influence they had. So take us back to early childhood, living in East Africa. What was life like growing up for you?
Well, thank you, Meredith.
Yeah.
I really appreciate this. I know our conversation the last time we met was very meaningful for me because when there is a person who listens to your story, who is interested in your story, really is an indication that this person accepts who you are. And I really appreciate that. Going back to my childhood, I am the number 5 of 9 siblings in my family. And early on in my life, this was maybe about 4 years ago, when I was 4 years old, I was so interested in education because I saw the life of a farmer, subsistence farmer, in our small village and the poverty and all that. So early on, I understood that education is really, for me, a way out. I understood that very, very early.
That was the ticket. That was the key. Okay.
Yeah, that was the key. So I remember my mother didn't even know. I just went to school one morning, washed my face, and that's what we did.
I'm out. I'm going to school.
I'm going to school. So I went there. I did not do well that year because the teacher was not experienced and I was not prepared. But I was in school. And then the second year, I was more prepared. But my the fee, the annual fee for going to school was $1.
For the year.
For the year. And my parents couldn't afford it.
The $1.
The $1.
Wow.
And it's not even $1 US, it's one Ethiopian birr.
Okay.
Which
is
was
equivalent.
Almost a quarter of
oh my goodness.
1/4.
Wow.
So that's the extent of the poverty that the children went through. But one thing that was very exemplary of my parents were, even though they never had formal education, they understood the value of education. So they decided to send all of us children to school.
Wow.
And but they couldn't afford it, and that was the reason why I skipped 1 year.
Okay. Because of the 25 cents.
Yeah. So I was devastated. I wanted to go to school, but I couldn't go because my parents couldn't afford it.
So that year you had to miss school.
I missed that year. The following year, it was a better year for the farmers. So I got enrolled and I excelled in school.
That's awesome.
I was a good student always.
Well, what was it like socially for you at school?
Well, in the village, from kindergarten to 4th grade, it was in my own village. So you have uncles and cousins and parents and all that. So it was good. It was okay. But after 4th grade, I had to go travel about 8 miles to go to school. So you can't walk every day. So what I did was went to the school, to the village, the other village, on Monday morning, stayed with a relative Monday through Friday, and then Friday evening, afternoon, after school closed, we had to walk back to the village. So that's what I did, and this was in 5th grade, 5th and 6th grade.
Right.
So I'm in a new place, a new community, and excelling with jealousy from the village villagers who were in school. They were not doing well in school. So they bullied me, and it was very torturous. So for a little kid, that could really devastate him or her.
Yeah.
But for me, it made me more determined to excel in school.
Wow.
So the more they pushed me because of my achievement in school to really bullied me, the more they bullied me, the more determined I became to excel in school. And in 6th grade, when we had this standardized test, I scored the highest in the whole region, which resulted into getting a scholarship to go to a boarding school in the capital city in Asmara.
So you chose to see that tension and that adversity as an opportunity.
As an opportunity.
Yeah.
We talked about what happened in the early formative days. Your life stays with you or shapes you to become who you are in adulthood. And that's really what happened. So what I have learned is I don't take no for an answer. If there is a vision and it's a compelling vision and I see it so clearly that it can happen, I never took no for an answer.
Yeah. They couldn't mess with you. You had laser focus.
I'm very laser focused and get in trouble with them for it.
Yeah.
But,
so was there a teacher or a person in your life when you were going through that, when you were being bullied, and that was your advocate, somebody that stepped in to help you?
Yeah. There was, in my 5th grade and, of course, 6th grade, there was an Amharic language teacher, and he taught us other subject matters too, who really paid attention to me. I was a good student, the number one in his class, so he appreciated it to the extent that I could memorize about 10 pages, word for word, and if they ask me, I'll just regurgitate the whole thing for him. So what he did was he paid attention to me. So one day, the students were so upset, and I had a nickname that I didn't like. I'm not going to share that nickname with you today. But
hopefully you never hear that again.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But then what they did was, after we went on recess, they went to my desk, and all over my notebooks they wrote that nickname.
Kids can be so mean. Wow.
Kids can be very mean. I was devastated, and I was crying, of course, being little. I was crying. And the teacher came and said, "What happened?" And I showed him. So he didn't tell them what happened. He just told them, I want all of you now we have an assignment. So all of you are going to come out one by one, and I'm going to give you a word, and you are going to write it on the blackboard. So that's what they did, and he figured out who writing was.
Oh, wow.
So he really reprimanded them. In fact, gave them the punishment that he could give them. And that was one.
Yeah.
The other thing is, we were preparing for finals, and at our home, my mother was just preparing food, and right underneath where she was preparing the food was a fire that was really covered so that she can ignite the fire the next morning to cook the food. And my notebooks were on that place where she was preparing the food, grinding the meal.
Right.
And she just pushed it, and it fell on this fire.
Oh, gosh.
So it was charred in the morning, and when I saw it, I was just crying because what I saw was they are going to beat me now in school.
Because you were different, or you had anything that stood out. That was an opportunity for them to bully.
For them to bully, or maybe pass me, get a better grade than I can.
Yeah.
So I took my notebooks to the classroom. And this same teacher, when he saw it, he took my notebooks, and he said, "This is an exemplary student. You see, Yohannes was studying all night, and that's why his notebooks were burned."
Oh, my goodness.
So when he said that, I was so encouraged that I took the notes from other students. I copied them that very day, and I aced every
you did.
Subject matter.
Wow. That's amazing.
And did well. And
so what do you think his impact, like what was it that he did? Was it just him seeing you, or being, just an advocate for you that just gave you life?
Well, first of all, I think he saw me.
He saw you.
As a potential.
Yeah.
For something greater. He saw something in me, and he paid, he really paid special attention to my well-being as well as my classroom activities. And secondly, he encouraged me in times of adversity. I mean, those things that happened were very devastating for a little boy.
Of course.
So they could have crushed me, and then
Yeah.
I could have given up
Yeah.
in school. But what he did
Yeah.
really encouraged me so much that from there on, any challenge became an opportunity for
Wow.
me to excel.
So do you feel like that experience gave you also the desire to be that for other people, to be an advocate for others?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One thing that I don't tolerate, even to this day, if I see a powerful person trumping over someone who is weaker, it just boils. I just boil.
It's a trigger. Yeah.
It becomes a trigger, and sometimes to the point where I just don't consider it for a moment. Not confronting this person. I just confront them.
Right.
It gets me in trouble.
Yeah.
Most of the time, but it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Your pain fuels your purpose now. So
Absolutely.
you can't just sit back and do nothing.
Yeah.
And that's what your teacher did for you too. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Tell us about you mentioned when we met before about the Swedish missionary.
Yeah.
Tell me about him.
So I after 6th grade I went to a public school for a week, waiting to hear from the boarding school, and after a week, when I got that, I went to the capital city of Eritrea, which is Asmara, and the director of the boarding school was a Swedish missionary.
Okay.
So the Swedish missionary, I mean, he saw the potential, and they were doing extremely well in school. And he had a special interest on me, and we played chess every evening.
Wow.
Every time he got a chance, he'll invite me, Yohannes, let's play chess. We don't talk much, we just play chess.
Wow.
And he was patient enough to just be there and play for me. I used to win. Maybe he let me win. I don't know to this day, but I was a competitor.
Right.
And I said, I beat him. So every time, I was just looking forward to playing chess with him. And that relationship, then, what he did was he got me the Swedish consulate in Ethiopia to sponsor me. So I was actually sponsored, and my entire boarding school expense was to be paid until I graduated from high school.
Oh, my goodness. But that relationship started over you guys just playing chess together.
Yeah, well, it started because I was admitted because of my academic achievements in 6th grade, and then I did well, but he, of all the kids, paid special attention. And started this, and that just led into further.
So it wasn't anything necessarily in the beginning that, like he said, that impacted you more so than just his willingness to just be present in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the sheer presence, and to this day. As a pastor, I have been in the hospitals and in some of the most traumatic events of our members' lives and all that. And there is a tendency for us to fill in the gap. So we have to say something.
Yes.
Well,
fix it. We want to fix it or
we
make
want
it
to
better.
Fix it. And the more we try to say something, the more awkward we become.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what I learned in life is presence speaks louder than the words that you try to come up with in an awkward situation.
Yes.
So I like to be present when people need it.
That's so good.
Yeah.
So good. And I think we really underestimate the power of presence.
Yeah.
And the power of seeing someone and encouraging them. Just little things like what this teacher did for you and what the missionary did for you. Just the simple things really can make the biggest impact.
Yeah. I have experienced that over and over again with many. And over the years, as a missionary to North America, really at the beginning, it was not just about starting one congregation that I was interested in, but starting a mission movement. Well, if you want to have a movement, then you have to involve others.
Yeah, can't do it by yourself.
But you can't do it by yourself. So what I really decided to do was I will be a missionary so that I'll raise up leaders. So once people knew that I was doing that, they started coming. So I developed this policy, and I tell them this openly, is I will dance with you as long as you want to dance with me.
Wow.
So if the dancing is going to stop, it is on you, not me.
That's so good.
So,
Yeah.
and then second one is I am going to see a potential of every person that comes to my office, a potential for greater role in ministry, whether it's a missionary, a pastor, a DC, or the director of Christian education, or a diaconal ministry. So because of that, then within 6 years, we recruited almost 150 leaders.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Which was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I didn't know how we did it.
Yeah.
God just orchestrated it.
But what is so cool is both of those like mantras you can see rooted back into your childhood.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The power of presence, and then the power of just seeing the potential in someone.
Yeah.
And it started as a child that someone did that for you.
Yeah.
Wow. And then the ripple effect that now you're doing that for others. And how many leaders did this develop into? Or
well, I think we started, and that was out of my ministry in Washington, D.C. We proposed for an online distance education that leads to ordination program to our denomination, and these leaders we were building up the candidates for this program. When we opened it in 2002, we are talking from 95 to 2002, when we opened it up for admission in 2002, within 2 years we had 150 students, which was, if you were to look at the average seminary in the United States,
right,
it was on the larger side.
Wow.
Just our group, 150 students. So it was a phenomenal success. And it was not just African immigrants, there were Asian immigrants. And one of the things that happened was Native Americans. Our church has been involved in Native American ministry for over 100 years. And by the time when I was at the national office and leading those efforts, I met with the Council for Native American Mission. And we had 18 ministers, and every single one of them was led by an Anglo pastor. And I asked them a question, why is this? And they said, we couldn't find qualified men. So I got so angry. I said, what makes you qualified?
Yeah, good question.
Tell me what makes you qualified and what makes them unqualified. They say, well, some of them are struggling with alcoholism, have multiple divorces and all that. Did this happen before they became Christians or after they became Christians? Before. Then Paul was a murderer.
Yeah, good point.
So why would we do that? So we are going to do everything we can to really enroll them in this distance program, so that we will have Native Americans pastor in Native American congregations.
That's so powerful.
We started those types of things.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I wish we could see just the visual of the ripple effect, and what each one of those lives, the impact that it had, and the people that leader was then able to influence. It's hard to even wrap your brain around that impact. So much of what I see in your story, and you've spoken a little bit about this already, is just the power of having a vision and the strength that comes from that, especially when you're on a path that is hard and you're facing things like war and hardship and pain. You have something that kind of keeps pushing you forward. And there's something that you said during our lunch that really stuck with me that I want our listeners to hear too. And that was, you said, when we have vision, adversity becomes a block to climb over. It's not the end. That's big. So let's talk about vision. Let's start with your father, because I know he had vision. Tell us about that.
Well, my father, of course, my mother also, we talk about fathers because it's a patriarchal system where we are, but my mother was 100% supportive of that vision.
Yeah.
What my father did was he had an opportunity with 5 boys to have a big farm and then do better as a farmer. But instead of doing that, he gave his livestock to his in-laws, which they all died. Then he lost everything. But he decided to send all of us children to school. Because what they didn't want to do is have their children have the same kind of lifestyle as they do.
So just get stuck in that
stuck in that pattern of poverty or subsistence farming. We didn't realize it was poverty at that time.
Yeah, that's all you knew.
That's all we knew. So we just waited for every harvest to be a better harvest. So, but looking back, I see how impoverished we were.
Right.
So he had this vision that all of us should be educated. So except for one, my oldest sister, who was given into marriage by his uncle, and he couldn't say no to him.
Right.
The rest of us went to school, all of us.
Wow.
And that was his vision.
Yeah.
And
that got passed on to you.
Passed on to me, yeah. So my sister is one of the first to get her undergraduate degree from the village.
Wow.
And my brothers were also very, very smart and could have gotten places if he didn't die in the war. And then I came here, and then, of course.
Did your dad ever get to see your accomplishments in education and how far you were able to go?
Yes, he came to the United States. They came, both of them, twice.
Wow.
Stayed for almost a year at a time.
Awesome. So when you think back to the idea of vision, when you think back to some of the really hard moments of your life, how is it that vision kind of kept you going? And when the odds were kind of stacked against you, I'm thinking of people who are listening who are maybe in the middle of a storm themselves. How can vision help you in that?
Yeah. Well, I think for us coming from Eritrea, there was a national kind of vision, which was struggle for independence. So every young person, even I, when I was 16 years old, I joined the Eritrean Liberation Front. And really, at that point, our vision was we will sacrifice for the sake of independence. So early on, we were ready to die. So that was really instilling the value of vision. And if it's so compelling, you die for it.
Oh, wow.
But then I got disillusioned, and of course, I was going to do business and support the family, which with the level I was very successful in doing that. And could have been a great businessman by now. But the Lord has a way of really channeling your vision to where you need to go.
To be aligned with His vision.
With His vision.
Yeah.
So I rejoined the Eritrean Liberation Front, and we were facing then the Cubans, the Ethiopians, supported by the Cubans and the Soviet Union, reinvading Eritrea again, the liberated area. So I was recalled to join the army to face the enemy. So we did a surveillance, and my team and I went to do the surveillance to find out where they were. That was part of the strategic planning, and we were going to go then face them the morning.
Okay.
So I remember the evening before we were ready to go, I got on my knees and prayed, Lord, if you save me, I'll serve you. And we went. It was early morning. It was dark. They knew that we were coming, so they approached us first, and so they opened fire.
Wow.
and my teammate was just firing, and he had tracer bullets because the team leader. So I told him, you need to duck down, otherwise you're going to get us killed. And instantly this heavy artillery came and busted him, his guts and his brain, and he was screaming. So I go to pick him up. So I got wounded, and then I had to hobble on one foot to get out of the line of fire.
But God saved you.
God saved me. So the prayer in the evening, and then saved me in the morning.
Do you feel like when you said that prayer, you knew that this was, you potentially weren't going to come out of this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, about 70 people died.
Wow.
So it was many of us wounded, 70 died. Wow. So I was one of those who survived. And then, you know, we were young, teenagers, late teenage years, idealists. So when they indoctrinate you, brainwash you, you say, there is no God. But later on, I started to wonder about the whole idea.
Yeah.
And especially the independence of Eritrea, I agreed, ready to die for it. But the alliances didn't really match with what I was feeling at that time.
Yeah. I think a lot of young people may find themselves, for different reasons, but in similar places where the world is coming at you with so many different ideas and theologies and meanings of life, and it can be very confusing. And but it sounds like it was in that moment of crisis that you fully surrendered your life to God, and that if you save me, I will serve you, was the prayer.
Yeah.
Do you see that was really the beginning of a calling that God had on your life?
It was the beginning of a calling, but I was in the desert for a few years.
Yeah.
And I remember when my friend and I were just walking, leaving the camp where we were to go to the neighboring Sudanese city to become refugees. On the way, I shared with him that I know the Swedish missionaries that I know are in the refugee camps. So
same one that played chess with you?
No, another one.
No, a different one. Okay.
A different one. That I was going to rejoin, go and work with them. And my friend said, Yohannes, don't even consider becoming a pastor. And I said, no, me a pastor? No, no way. And it was truly, I didn't think that I would be a pastor because of where we came from. But the first question I was asked when I entered the city and met the pastor, my parents' home pastor, who immigrated and was in that city, was asking me to serve as an evangelist.
Wow.
Didn't say no. To this day, I don't know why I didn't say no. But that's God.
That's God.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I went to the refugee camp, met with the missionaries. So we started a Bible study, small home Bible study group. I was then leading Sunday school to about 60, 70 kids. And that's when I really then thought about going into full-time ministry and going to the seminary to become a pastor.
My goodness.
Yeah.
It's just so cool that, first of all, his statement to you, don't you go and become a pastor? That was almost a seed being planted, or
that was
a
well,
thought.
That's almost a prophecy.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Wow. So I think a lot of people, when they face like a crisis moment, we can make these promises to God, but then the follow through isn't there. Like, what was it about that promise that, Lord, if you save me, I will serve you? What was it about that really stayed with you and shaped you moving forward?
Well, of course, the few years that I denied my faith and all that, that's just a blur. So really, it seemed like it didn't have any impact in my life. But one thing that lingered with me was the person who was on my right who died instantly.
Yeah.
were friends, and we were chatting all the time about our future and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to tell me, I have been away from my parents for about few years, 3 or 4 years, seemed long.
Mm-hmm.
So after this, I'm going to go home and get married.
Mm. Oh.
He didn't go home. He didn't get married. But I prayed, and I got saved.
Yeah.
His prayer was not answered, but mine was. And so that lingered with me. And as soon as I got to the Sudan, especially after I started getting involved in the church, I was absolutely convinced that prayer was answered, and
that you were saved for a purpose.
Yeah.
Because why would God save you?
Yeah.
And not him. I mean, he had some work for Yohannes to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In fact, people would say, Yohannes, because they know academically I could do almost anything that I set my mind to.
Right.
They used to say, Yohannes, why don't you study political science or do something else? Why a pastor? Why you? Why waste all this potential? And I said, no,
that's
the
wasted.
Greatest potential.
Yes.
So
that is not wasted.
It is not wasted.
No.
I know it's not wasted,
No.
but they thought it was wasted.
Wow.
Yeah.
You knew better. So let's talk about, I know we've talked about how people who showed up in your life as a child and those simple moments of advocacy really made an imprint on you, but I want to talk about how that even affects the leader that you are today. Yeah. And so let's kind of turn the conversation outward a bit. And when you look back on your journey and you think about the people who invested in you, how does that impact your day-to-day today and the work that you're still doing today?
Well, first of all, I see, I very clearly have seen, experienced, and witnessed the value of people when they are in time of need. The greatest gift we could give them is our presence. And that goes without saying. And secondly, one of the most important thing that we could do for them is to help them to see the potential in themselves, so that they could do greater things if they set their minds to it. So my life is, if someone comes in need to your office, don't see to the need, see to the potential.
So good.
Of that person. And when you bless them with your presence, sometimes it's the little help you give them, and they can do it themselves.
So good.
Yeah.
Just the power of walking alongside the vulnerable.
Yeah.
And the impact that can have. And you don't see it at the time. Like you couldn't, well, I guess if you have good vision, you can see it. But you just have, that's faith, right? It's believing in what you can't fully see. But you saw a man who needed help and had potential.
Yeah. Wow. I think the vision for yourself can be translated into helping others to vision for themselves. And what I have done in ministry over the years is, since my vision was to become a missionary, a servant in the mission field, I saw that potential in every person that came to my office. Or I saw a potential for the people that really came along our sphere of influence,
right?
To see a potential for them to do something significant for society. And
it's amazing. So when you're talking about this man and what could have happened, like had you not stepped into that moment, he could have been homeless, and what could have happened to his family. I want you to think about your life and what could have happened. Like, had you not had a father who sacrificed for you, or a teacher who advocated for you, or the missionary who was willing to be present with you, like, how do you think the story could have ended?
I think, well, first of all, if I didn't have a chance for education, I would have been just a farmer, a subsistence farmer, like anybody else, because the life cycle was you give birth, you raise that child. If it's a girl, you give that girl to marriage, another farmer. If you're a man, you worked with the family, with your father in the farm, and when you're reach adulthood, you get married and you have your own farm.
And you just repeat. It's
and
on
you
repeat.
repeat it. So that would have been my
Destiny.
But since that education was introduced, I started to see alternatives. I could just tell you a simple fact. In 1976, during the Eritrean Liberation Front, we didn't agree, so they sent us back home. And I was not going to go back. I was done with politics at that time. But then what I saw was there was a lot of poverty. My parents were struggling and all that. So I started this business. This is just a simple $10 birr, which was probably $2.50 US dollars at that time. With that, I started taking spices from the city and bartering them for grain in the villages.
Wow.
And before you know it, half year, I had enough for the whole family. And then I could have become a very successful businessman.
Yeah.
So you start with very little, but then you grow it. So I knew how you could do business to really support yourself.
Right.
So even then, if I didn't had the opportunity to go to school, coming to the United States, I would have been a good businessman, and my life was destined to be in the city, not in the village.
Yeah.
So that education, that vision, my parents' vision, really gave me the ability to have a vision for myself.
To dream that there could be another life.
Yeah, another life. And what children, in most cases, that are caught in a cycle of poverty, is no one was able to give them that there is an alternative, a positive alternative,
right,
to just staying in that cycle of poverty.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so true. Like we, at Allies, we work with orphans who they don't have family in their life that are telling them the sky's the limit and you can do whatever you set your mind to. And so that's the power of a mentor in that moment, for a mentor to step into an orphan's life and say, hey, what you see in the life you're living now doesn't have to always be this way. And let's explore what that could look like. But if you don't know there's another way, then how do you break out of that?
Yeah, that's exactly true. And that's why I was very fascinated and very open to partnering with Allies in youth ministry. That I saw the potential of this, because when you really help the children, you're not just giving them fish, you're training them how to fish.
Ooh, that's so good. That's so true.
And what happens is you're not just training them to fend for themselves, but you are making them leaders in the community that are going to transform the lives of many other people.
Not just their life.
Not just their life. So you will see leaders in their countries or even somewhere else. I heard recently the person who say 1, 2, 3 and shoot the satellites to the orbit. One of them is an Eritrean immigrant.
Goodness. Wow.
Grew up in the farm, in villages, but then came to this country, became one of the best engineers, and now he's working at NASA.
So that adversity, what was your quote again? That adversity is not a roadblock.
Yeah.
It's just an opportunity, right?
To climb over.
Find another way.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So if someone is listening to your story today and they feel like maybe they're in the middle of a storm and they don't see the way out, they don't have the tools they feel like they need to make an impact, what would be your message to them today?
Well, storms come and go. And thank God that the storms don't last for a long time.
Yeah.
The duration of a storm is, we have hurricanes in this country, and we know that.
Yeah.
But the hurricane comes, and within one day it dissipates.
Yeah.
It leaves carnage, but it dissipates. So storms come and go. I think the people who really endure are those who see the storm as a temporary hiccup.
Yeah. Hiccup.
And if you go past that storm, you come out better for it.
You're refined in it.
Refined. It's like gold going through fire.
Yes.
And comes out refined. You get refined by that adversity. And what you learn during adversity really shapes the way you face life after that.
It's so true.
Yeah.
So true. So if someone is listening to this and they see how people shaped your life and how people came into your life at a young age and the impact that made, and they want to make a difference, but they don't know how, like what would you say to them? What small step could someone take to make an impact?
Well, every time I see it, it takes $19 to sponsor a child.
Yeah.
$19 a month is the price of a hamburger twice.
Actually, a hamburger once nowadays, but
a hamburger once.
Depends on where you go.
I don't see the smallness of the dollars. I see the greatness of the impact that those do.
Yeah.
I think for some who probably don't have the ability to go to places to mentor an orphan, one of the things they could do is just partner with organizations like Allies in Youth Ministry to sponsor a kid.
Yeah.
And that child will be internally grateful for what those dollars did to change it.
That child could be a future pastor, missionary person sitting in that chair talking about.
Or engineer or a neurologist or a heart surgeon.
So true.
Yeah.
This has been such a gift for me. Thank you. And not
You're
just for me. I know whoever is going to hear this. Is there any other part of your story that we didn't talk about, or that you feel like God did something in my life? It's not just for me, it's for someone else to hear. Is there anything?
Well, I think we touched on all aspects of my life, but you can't tell it all. There is always something missing that could be very encouraging to someone who hears the story. I think what I would emphasize is to the children or young men and women who might be struggling, don't waste time. Use your time to get an education or a vocational training, because that will lead you into really contributing something significant to the society. And also what I would say is life, if you live it just for yourself, it's meaningless, isn't it? For me, what gives life meaning is that you really touch the life of another person who is going to touch the life of another person.
Wow.
And that's very Christocentric, because Christ said, if you did it to these little ones, you have done it for me.
Wow.
You have done it for me. And my life, I say, even if I dream sometimes, if I get $1 million, what would I do? So this is what I do. Oh yeah, I would give X number of dollars for this mission, so that we could get started here and do something great. And I could free my time from doing something to earn a living, so that I could be free to do ministry. See, all my thinking is shaped with the mission and the vision I have for my mission.
Not how can I make my life more comfortable or more enjoyable, but
how can I make other lives more comfortable?
Wow. That's incredible. And so true. Life spent just on ourselves is meaningless. Might feel good or, enjoyable in the moment, but then it passes and it ends. But when you pour into another person and you see a life changed, and then that person changing another life, the satisfaction, the joy, the purpose just continues. So
it's endless. It's
endless.
Eternal.
It's eternal. Yes. Wow. I thank you so much. I thank you for just your honesty and your wisdom, and just sharing how hardship wasn't what defined you. It was really what was on the other side of it. And I know that you've made an impact on my life, and I know that the people that are listening would feel the same. So I just want to say, I know that you've been blessed by this. I've been blessed by this. And I think, honestly, what stands out the most in his story to me was the people. It was the people who believed in him. I picture Yohannes as a young boy, and I picture the teachers and the advocates who believed and walked with him. And in those moments, how they didn't just change his life. If you see and think about the lives that now he's impacting as a result of that. So maybe as you heard his story, it made you think of people in your life who believed in you and who encouraged you. So if it did, call them and thank them for their impact. Or maybe this is causing you to think about people in your life right now that you need to pour into, that you need to encourage. And maybe that's what God's stirring in you today. So if you're listening and you're thinking, what can I do? How can I make a difference? I think what we're hearing here is you don't have to have all the solutions, and you don't have to fix everything. Sometimes it's just your presence, and it's just showing up. And that is powerful. One amazing way that you can show up is, as Yohannes mentioned, is through allies. So Allies in Youth Development believes that that no child should ever walk through life alone, and that showing up consistently with love and mentorship can change the entire trajectory of a vulnerable youth's life and set them on a path for a future. And so today, Allies is serving over 25,000 orphans and vulnerable youth in over 74 countries. I think 74 is what we're at right now, every single month. And we do this through mentors and volunteers who are their advocates and just give this steady source of hope into their life. And so if you want to get engaged, we would encourage you to just follow us on socials. You can look up Allies Youth on Instagram and Facebook and stay connected to the mission and find ways to get involved. Also, please follow us on the Empowered Life podcast and share this episode with someone, maybe someone in your life who needs a little bit of inspiration today. Your follow and your comment and your share, it goes a long way because it helps us spread these stories to people who really need to hear them. And so I just encourage you, try to find someone in your life who you can be an advocate for, who you can encourage, who you can speak life to, and just help them to know that they're not unseen, that they're not forgotten. Presence really matters. Advocacy matters. Showing up for someone who is going through hard times, that can change everything. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Empowered Life podcast.